You're watching Credlin. I'm Erin Molan. 1 week on from the results of the Victorian election, and the Liberal Party are continuing to lick their wounds after another disappointing result. Against the odds, Premier Daniel Andrews won a big majority despite a 3% swing against the government. For Liberal leader Matthew Guy, his second consecutive election loss, the baton of Liberal leadership will now be passed on. Next Thursday, the Liberal Party room will meet for the first time after their loss, with two candidates standing for the leadership. John Pesutto, who has re-won his seat of Hawthorn after being knocked out in 2018, and Berwick MP Brad Batten. And I'm pleased to say that Brad joins me now. Brad, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. First of all, I want to ask you, why are you the best man to lead the Liberals in Victoria?
Erin, thank you for having us on. I'm a fundamental believer in their freedoms and promoting our Liberal values, and that's what I've done for a long period of time through my electorate. Unfortunately, I've been surrounded by a sea of red down in the growth corridors because I think we've ignored the growth corridors too long. We didn't get enough into the discussions around home affordability, housing. We've got a aspirational group of people through all of the growth corridors, not just the southeast, but all over Victoria, who don't hear our message. We've got to modernise that message. We've got to make sure it gets into the right places at the right time. And the only way to do that is to unite the team again. I think I'm the best person to unite that team, to modernise that message and ensure it's back on track to where we need to be to engage with those people in the growth corridors.
You're not actually thinking about focusing on things that actually matter to people, are you?
I couldn't think of anything better. I'm a father. I live out in the growth corridors. I've got two daughters, and I just want them to have opportunities that I've had. And I didn't start life the easiest way. I've got great parents. We were brought up well, but I was out of home at 17. I left school at 15. But hard work, determination, commitment is what it takes to get to where you want to go. And I've always learned there's certain things in life that you can do without education, and that's things like being on time, being courteous, working hard. But I went back and re-educated myself to recently completing a master's. So why am I the best person? Because I can engage with every person throughout my electorate, and I have done that for a long period of time, not just on social media, but face-to-face. Doesn't matter if you're a tradie, a footballer, an academic, or you own a small business. It's really important that we're listening to you, finding the issues that are important to you, and those are things around the cost of living. They are around housing affordability. They want the next generation to have a better life than they've had, as we've had from our last generation. It's up to the Liberals to do that and protect our freedoms along the way.
I have no doubt you would have already been sussing out support. How much support do you have? How confident are you?
I think there's a bit to go between now and next Thursday. As I learnt in my last leadership challenge, a week is a long time. Actually, a night is a long time in politics when it comes to this. So there's calls getting out there, but I will say, and I've spoken to John Pesutto as well, and obviously congratulated him on winning Hawthorn and winning it back from Labor. I think it's really important that we try and keep this as clean as possible and stay united. If John is successful in this, I'll work with him no matter what to ensure that we can get that message out through the growth corridor. Obviously, I asked John to do the same. I very proudly won a seat off Labor in 2010. I've successfully held that now for 3 elections under trying circumstances, including a redistribution that gave me 70% new electorate this time in the fastest growing area of Clyde and Clyde North that we don't normally have success in. So I believe the way to engage with that, with those communities, is to ensure we go back to their values. And some of those values line up with us. Those multicultural communities, we don't engage with them enough talking about Liberal values, the things they want. They want freedom of religion. They need freedom of religion because many of them come from countries with so many different religious backgrounds that they need to be ensured that they're going to be protected for that. I'm just going to stand with them. I'm not that religious myself, but I believe in that freedom and I'll never give up on it.
How do you, if you are successful on Thursday, how do you hold Daniel Andrews to account, and then how do you beat him at the next election?
I'll give credit to Daniel Andrews. He's a very, very good politician and a very clever politician. First and foremost, to hold him to account, I think we go back on some of the words that he has used, where he actually says about my communities, where they appear happy to rent and they don't want to have that aspiration to own their own homes, where he looks at communities of ours, and I think he just treats them as they're going to vote for him, particularly multicultural communities, where Labor has successfully engaged with them. So we need to go and engage with them and talk about our values versus Labor values, why we want to protect them, and how the Andrews Labor government continue with their philosophy of free everything to effectively go into your life. We want less government. We want smaller government. We want to ensure that we have that impact and allow Victoria to become what it should be, the greatest state to invest. That's the way we can beat Daniel Andrews, by ensuring that we are trustworthy when it comes to the economy, keep our integrity, and ensure that we're delivering for those communities to give those aspirational people the opportunities that they want going forward, not a government telling them what they can and can't do.
Okay, Brad Batten, will you talk the talk? If you are successful, hopefully you walk the walk. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good luck.